Okay, let's look at this question. Which statement describes a characteristic of an oligopolistic market? So before we get on with the options, let's just quickly recap what we know about oligopolistic market. An oligopolistic market structure is an example of imperfect competition where a few large companies dominate an industry, exerting high influence over the market and prices. This type of market is characterized by high barriers to entry, making it difficult for new businesses to compete. As there are only a few suppliers, each is likely to have a significant knowledge of the competitor's actions and can predict the way their competitors will respond to changes in their own strategy. Oligopoly firms try to make their products seem different from their rivals through product differentiation techniques. Knowing these characteristics is sufficient to answer the question. However, if you struggle to recall them in the exam, it can be helpful to think about a well-known example to help you visualize the market and make it easier to answer the question. Let's take McDonald's and KFC. These two suppliers heavily dominate the fast food industry. They're not the only two suppliers, but together they exert significant influence over the market. Let's get through the possible answers. First option, an oligopolist is not aware of the strategies of its competitors. That's actually the opposite of the truth. In an oligopoly, there are only a few big players, and each one pays very close attention to what the others are doing, be it pricing, advertising, or promotions. So this one is definitely wrong. Second option, if an oligopolist decreased prices, it would lose customers. Think about that. If a firm lowers prices, it usually gains customers, not loses them. This is against the usual price demand behavior. So this doesn't describe oligopoly correctly. Third option, an oligopolist has a high level of influence within its market. Yes, this makes sense because in an oligopoly, each firm is large enough to have real market power. Their decisions on pricing or output can significantly affect the whole market. That's exactly a key characteristic of oligopoly. So that's the right answer. Last option, in oligopoly, all suppliers charge the same price. Not necessarily. Sometimes prices are similar because firms follow each other closely. But it is not always identical pricing. That would describe perfect competition or even collusion, but not oligopoly. Instead, basing themselves on product differentiation, companies may charge different prices from their competitors. For example, the price of a KFC Zinger and a McDonald's Big Mac are not the same. So the fourth option is also not correct.